Welcome back to another episode of Allowed to Ask, a First Rounds on Media production. Let's be honest, when it comes to dating apps, the small talk can be the worst. It feels like endless texting that never leads to anything real. But what if you could skip all of that? That's exactly what First Rounds on Me is all about, cutting to the chase and helping you connect in person faster. With their 24-hour chat feature, once you match, you've got a limited window to get to know each other before your date. No more texting for weeks. You could check it out and use code A2A, capital A, number 2, capital A, to get 1 month free of Frome's Terracotta subscription and actually start making meaningful connections. Right, Mom?
Yes.
Period. We are so glad to be sitting here with Alessia. I'm saying Sculpt because I don't know how. I know I'm going to fuck up your last name.
Just try it.
Scauzillo.
That was actually pretty good.
What is it again?
Scauzillo.
I can't. I'm like,
You got one hit wonder. Yeah.
Scauzillo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Welcome.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
I'm
having
going
me.
to pretend traveling all the way from Toronto just to come on. Kidding.
It worked perfectly.
It worked. I feel like I reached out to your team like so long ago and they were like, she's coming to New York in March. Let's do it then. And I was like, lock.
And I love that it actually happened.
Same.
Like no reschedules. I'm here.
No.
Yeah.
When it's on my calendar, it's happening. One
Yes.
thing about me. So I've been following you for years. I was telling you before this, but I used to do your workouts during COVID. So like
Crazy.
that feels like, well, probably it was forever ago.
Yeah.
So I know you as like a fitness girly, but I know you've really expanded over the years. So tell us a little bit about yourself, not to make it like an interview, but tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Okay, great. When I started as a creator, I was in the fitness space, but even taking it farther back, I actually worked almost 10 years in finance before becoming a creator.
You must have been the hottest chick in the office.
I definitely
Right?
served looks. Like,
Yeah.
I was wearing the pencil skirt, the jewelry, the
That
hair,
is
the everything.
so hot.
Sometimes that's the one thing I miss of those days. Like if I
Like,
miss anything,
yeah.
it's that and the money. But
Yeah.
A lot of heads turning in the office.
Yeah.
Literally turning heads.
And so I did that, did not love it, and didn't know what I wanted to do next. And so I started teaching fitness because I loved working out. And then when I was teaching in person, and I was like, I just know that this isn't going to give me the lifestyle that I want. Like you have to teach early mornings, late nights. You don't make a lot of money. You can't
literally
travel.
getting into that right now as
Yeah.
my side gig.
Right.
So like, feel
You were doing this while you were working in finance.
Yeah, so
yes,
I overlapped the two for about 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so I taught, like, I would work my finance job, which was in banking. Like, it was pretty intense, full time.
Smart cookie.
And then
I know.
at night,
Smart and beautiful.
Thank you. And then at night and on weekends, I would teach. And I just was like, this is not realistic. So before
Oh my God,
COVID,
I'm literally about to do that.
oh
like,
my God,
right now.
both
I'll
things.
get into. I have
Okay.
like a social media agency that I'm
Oh my
starting to
gosh.
teach. But like,
You know what though? It was the best thing I did to start
Yeah.
because I feel like I hustled so hard, and now I look back on that time so fondly of like
Yeah.
those were the days I really like got my grit and got my start. So I started building an online fitness platform before COVID, and then
Yeah.
when COVID hit, I had already built it, and I was like 1 month out from launch, and I was like, oh, okay, now this thing happened, terrible, but like I guess I'll
Great
just launch
for
this
me.
thing.
Yeah, timing is everything.
Timing is
Truly.
everything, and it was wild. So I launched it, and I was still on social, primarily talking about fitness and wellness. And then what I noticed really quickly was what people really actually cared about me, about tuning in about me, was everything else. It
Right.
was like my relationship, my like beauty, fashion, like my recommendations, like all the other things, my personal life.
well, they tuned in because you were sharing it. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
They probably would have only seen you as the fitness person if
Right.
you weren't sharing that stuff. So it's great you were
But
Totally.
doing
you're
that.
also beautiful and look like a chick in the know. Because
Yeah.
if she wasn't,
Oh.
nobody cares what she's wearing.
Oh my God. I'm going to leave here with a head so big. And I honestly
Literally.
don't mind.
No, my
Girl
mom
crush.
literally like we like have like crushes over our guests, and then like we're gonna talk about you for the next like 3 weeks.
I love
No
that.
joke.
Oh my God, you guys are the sitest. So I started sharing all of that, and it was really, getting traction. And that is really how I've evolved into wellness, lifestyle, way like broader creator.
Yeah.
And even more recently, I've been getting more into fashion, beauty, all of that. Where I really saw growth in the social space was when I opened up about my relationship status.
People love
Yes, love.
dating content.
And well, I was married for
Insane.
4 years, together with him for 12.
Holy shit.
And it was a really hard decision to leave that relationship. And I did all of that without sharing with, like on social. But once that was over and I was, into my healing phase more, we can talk about all this more.
Yeah. Oh my God. I have so many questions about that.
I started sharing, okay, I'm separating from my ex. And that was when things really blew up for me. And then as I started dating and into new relationships, like I really have been super open about that.
So relatable for a lot of people.
And I feel like people have really connected to me through these experiences that I feel like people don't talk about. Like my ex was a really good guy. I left him anyways. And so leaving the quote good guy is this like really scary thing that I'm very open about.
Right.
And so people are like, oh my God, like I'm not the only one going through this. So I feel like that is how I've really built like my connection with my community.
You were vulnerable with your followers.
Yeah, I really was. Like,
it's beautiful.
When you say that, it's kind of like, oh, maybe a bit cheesy, but like I just view
it's not. That's literally how you grow following. Is like you weren't sugarcoating anything.
No.
Like you were just like when you were ready on your own terms. Like you shared about it.
I did do it on my own time. Yeah. Like I never would share in the moment. Right. But when I was ready, I was very open about it. And like the good times and the bad, like both. And I'm not afraid to share both.
I love that.
Yeah.
So was this a high school? We'll go into the relationship first. Was this a high school sweetheart, a college boyfriend?
College. We met in our third year at school. I went to school at McGill in Montreal. And we really like grew up together. Like we spent our 20s together. I feel like we just... we were together and then he was from Montreal, I was from Toronto. He moved to Toronto and we just were building our lives, working, going out, hanging with our friends. And then it just had been suddenly 6 years or however long. And then it was like, okay, the next step is get engaged, get married.
Yeah, you're kind of just like doing life together.
Yes, we just were doing
Were
those,
you hesitant anywhere along the way? Or
No.
you just was like, this is great. I'm so happy. Okay.
I actually wasn't hesitant. That's something I look back on and I'm really proud of. Like I did the best I could with what I knew at the time. I wasn't like getting married being like, this is a mistake. Like, no. I was fully in it.
You were in it.
I was in it. But it was years later where I started to realize like, am I really happy? And I think to go even further back, I lost my mom when I was young.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I didn't really process that.
Right.
And when until everything kind of hit at once, it was like processing the loss of my mom. Do I want to be in this relationship? I'm going through a career change.
Yeah.
And it was this huge, huge life shift.
Yeah.
And it
How old were you when all this happened?
I was just at the tail end of my Saturn return. I was like 28, 29.
Love.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so not like astrology girly, but like
basically it's this period of your life where it's like everything shifts. It's like you start to question everything, and like that's it really hit me all.
Did you have that moment in your life?
I don't even remember. But I've never been into astrology.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
Okay.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 33.
Okay.
But everything for you is really coming together now at 28.
Yeah, I think things are coming together right now, but I don't think I've had a moment where it's like I'm rethinking everything. But like, is that the same thing?
But I don't know how you kind of lived your life. I put pedal to the metal on my life. Like I was like work, engagement, meeting, and then I was like, all that was done. I was like 27, 28 being like, whoa, I've just done all these things. Like I find if you don't rush your life like that and you take your time and you make like, you really live in the present moment and make like choices that are right for you at, that are more joyful than like trying to accelerate your life. You don't end up having this like crisis.
I don't think I intentionally kept things on like a slower pace, like and like lived in the moment. Like when I think about it now, I'm like, oh, I'm happy how things mapped out.
Yeah.
But like I'm sure when I was like in my early 20s, I was like, okay, I graduated college. I moved to the city, which I wanted to do. I got a job at an agency because I always said I'm going to work at an agency first and then I'm going to go in-house somewhere. That's exactly what I did. I worked at an agency. It was even earlier than that. I said I'm going to go to Syracuse. I'm going to start in their arts and sciences school. Then I'm going to transfer into communications. I did everything I said I was going to do. And then once I think once I got laid off from my second full-time job and then started consulting and now I have my own agency. I think that's when I kind of like let go of I'm going to have this job, then this job, and then I'm going to get a boyfriend, then I'm going to get married and have kids, blah, blah, blah. I think I got rid of that when I got laid off because I was kind of like now what?
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
and I bet that at the time that was really hard to get laid off. And now
it was hard for like literally an hour. And
I was going to say like 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, great. But now
it was great. It was shitty because I loved my job, but I was also like, in my mind, I was like, this is not the end of the world. It's like, I will get another job. And I was
It didn't change your life in any way.
No, I was working again in like 3 weeks.
Okay.
But that, I think thinking about it now, I didn't realize in the moment, but now I'm like, oh, that was like a shift in my life where like I idea of a timeline I had kind of went out the door.
Yeah, and that's amazing.
Yeah.
Like that's actually, as shitty as those circumstances were, that is amazing that you had that realization.
Yeah.
And you could kind of like ease off the like trajectory that you had planned or thought your life was going to be on.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
A girl I went to college with just texted me yesterday saying like, hey, I just got laid off from my job. Like I really want to go into like more freelancing and consulting. Like, can we chat? And I'm like, that's so exciting. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I was sad. She got
What
laid
an
off. I'm like, that's
opportunity.
amazing.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
let's talk about
But
it.
I think it's good to have a plan. I was always plans. Like when my kids were young, I knew where they were going to camp. I knew, you know what I mean?
think that's old school though now.
Yeah, but I just
that's-
think I was always mapping things out. So
But would you be upset if like, I think my brother and I happened to like follow that map. Like, would you be upset if like that map was? What if I
No,
said
I'd
like,
have to
bye, I'm
pivot.
gonna go move to Israel with Casey. My best friend
I'd
moved
be
to
sad,
Israel.
but I would never hold you back.
Okay. Okay.
But I know you're not doing that now.
She can say that 'cause
every
you're not,
time
yeah.
she had a boyfriend, I'm like, all right, well, what do they do? Will they stay in New York?
Yeah.
Who's
that's
this
true.
guy?
That feels very normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
My
want
dad
her
was
around.
quite shell shocked when I was like, so I'm quitting my job. I'm going to start my own business.
That's big.
Yeah, what was
in
his reaction to
fitness,
that?
And I'm going to be an influencer.
Yeah.
He was like, what?
It's also like
Because
your
this was also
generation
years ago.
too,
This
right?
was being a creator has evolved a lot in the last few
Totally.
years. And now he looks and he's like, my God, you're doing so well. You have all these partners and it's like so great. But at the time it was like this silly little thing.
Yeah, I feel like not until like the past. I'm also like I'm not an influencer, but I'm like in the space of working with influencers.
Yeah.
So like I understand like the impact and how successful influencers are. And I feel like that wasn't known to like your generation. And like now my dad's like, keep posting. Like
Yeah.
when are you gonna make money from posts? And I'm like, hold your horses. Like I'm working like 8 jobs right now. But
To my dad's credit, he was very supportive. Even though he didn't love what my plan was, he was like, you
Nice, you had
have
that.
to be happy.
yeah.
And if you're not happy with what you're doing, you have to make a change. Cause he's like, I can't imagine going to work every day and hating my life. Like he's like, I love my job. So you have to feel that
That's so
joy.
nice.
And worst case scenario, if everything goes to shit, I'll be there for you.
Yeah.
Even though I don't love this,
You also
I will be there
could
for you. And I think
find a
that's
full quote unquote like corporate job again.
always.
Yeah.
I always told them myself, especially in finance, there's no women in finance. Everyone wants to leave because it's so
yeah,
torturous.
you're the minority.
Exactly. So like always knew I could go back to that, and my old
Yeah.
bosses would say that to me too.
Right.
And I think that's really like the best that a parent can do is like, look, I don't agree with your choices, but I want you to be happy, and I
Right.
support you whatever you want.
How much time did you give yourself when you quit finance to see if this fitness
was-
would work out?
It was like a 12 to 18 month window that
Okay.
I gave
You
myself.
had a plan.
I had a full plan.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
was like, if it doesn't go well after this period of time, I will pivot. And I had like milestones that I wanted to hit. But I will say that once I went full time, like once I quit my finance job and went full time into being a creator, I saw like a full-time benefit. Like once you
Yeah.
give it 100% of your energy, you get 100% back.
Well,
And
yeah,
within
because you had more time to create content,
100%.
ideas. Like it's of course.
Yes, because my previous job was very depleting too. It wasn't
Yeah.
that it was taking my time. It was, but it was also energetically depleting. And I feel
Totally.
like you can't create out of like a depleted
No,
state.
no.
So I definitely had a plan. And within honestly days, weeks of quitting, I was like, oh, this is for me.
This is amazing.
yeah.
You're
I love
also
that.
like cut from the same cloth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. And
Girls
but,
got
but
grit.
also, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like it's not just like you quit and then like, yay, like your following grew. Like you
No.
have to have fire under your ass to do it.
And I will make it happen for myself.
Yeah.
Like, whatever I want, I'm gonna make it happen. I won't stop till I make it happen.
No,
so
literally,
I like
what did my boyfriend at my dad's birthday the other week goes like, one thing about Danny is like when she says she's gonna do it, like she's gonna do it,
Yes.
and like
Yeah.
it's not even just like if I said I want to get my certification, like I did it, and then I was like I want to teach somewhere, and then like I've gotten rejected from studios, and I'm like I'm still
Yeah.
gonna teach somewhere.
I love that
And
attitude.
yeah, I feel like we're the same.
Right.
I
same
know.
energy.
That's so funny.
But how did you get into fitness? Like, did you love fitness? Like, were you like a little gym girly when you were young?
I actually
and-
was not athletic at all. I never I did barely played sports. I was like,
But you
couldn't-
don't need to be athletic to like to work out.
That's true, but I never was into working out or anything. My
Period.
mom really was. And the story of how I got into it was after she passed away, the fitness studio that she worked out at hosted this charity event in her honor to raise money for the
Aw.
hospital that she passed away at. And I went to support, and I did this class with all like 40, 50, 60-year-olds, and they were all so fit, and I was so gassed.
Wait,
Like,
you actually did the class with
Yeah.
them, or you just because I
No,
was
no, I did it.
I would have stood in the back of the
No,
class
I
and been like,
fully
"Go,
did it.
ladies, go!"
No, and I was like like huffing, puffing. I was mortified. It was definitely like a moment,
And you have
very
like
distinct
Beth
moment.
next to you who's like
That's so
65 and
nice.
ripped.
With like the
to record.
headband and the socks and the
Yeah, and like her
heavyweight.
abs are like shining through.
Yeah. And so I left and was like, this is embarrassing. My mom worked out so much. And
What kind of workouts did she do?
It was like aerobic style. Yeah. And with the step and everything.
Oh God, that's so
so
funny.
funny.
So funny, I know. It was from this little studio near like my family's house growing up. And I was like, my mom worked out so much, even all the way till like 6 months before she passed. Like that was like what she loved to do. And I was
It's a
like,
happy place.
I could, yeah. And I was like, and I feel so out of shit. Like I need to get on this, even just to like feel closer to her and feel just a bit stronger, more
you're
confident.
doing this all in her honor.
Yeah.
That's
She'd be so
nice.
proud.
Yeah, she would.
Well, it's interesting. I think she'd be really proud I'm into working out. I think she would have a really hard time with me having quit my job and doing this life and sharing so publicly. I really
Even
do.
seeing how
And
much
that's
you're
okay.
driving.
Yeah, I think she would want me to be happy, but she was a more quiet person, and I feel like it'd be hard for her to see me so open.
Well, it's probably just like it would be like out of the norm for her to
It would.
understand like the
Right.
type of
But
career you
I'm
have
sure
now.
she's proud of me.
I'm sure she is.
Yeah.
Haven't met her. Absolutely
No.
sure she's proud of you.
Yeah.
We're proud of you.
We're
Thank
proud
you.
of you.
That's so nice.
I want to go back to your ex.
Yes.
Because I feel like that was like a major like
Yes.
turning point for
Huge,
you.
the biggest. Yeah.
What was, I'm sure a lot of girls, guys have been in that spot, but you always say like people probably just stay in a relationship and settle because they are scared to be alone. Like when was that time and what was that feeling like when you're like, I need to walk away from this 12 year, 6 year, 12?
12 years.
12-year relationship and
Yeah.
what got you through that?
Especially when it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
No, he was a
Yeah.
good guy. It was very hard. And it took me a year to make the decision to ultimately walk away.
Did he know what was going on? Or
He didn't
just-
for the first few months. I told him probably 3-4 months in. We had a conversation about it.
So you're
he
married
was-
for 3 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. We
Yeah.
were married for 3 years and it came up in total. We ended up being married for 4. It was very hard. At first I was very confused. Like, why
Yeah.
do I feel this way? I'm supposed to be so happy. I have everything I could
Also,
quote,
you're
ever
young,
want.
too.
I was very
Like,
young.
yeah.
Yeah. And he was so lovely, so kind, caring, great job, like great guy.
Yeah.
But I feel like I was
She's feeling bad for him. I
know.
feel it. I
Where
feel
is
it.
he now?
I've spent a lot. He's engaged.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
Okay, yay.
With what I hear through the grapevine, someone that is much more suited to him, which is like
Love.
I'm very like open to life. Like
Yeah.
I'm open to work or travel, adventure. I'm very like, yes, let's do it. Let's build it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm just like in this open space, a
I love that.
headspace. My ex was very in a box. He liked to live in a certain place, do a certain thing for work, and experience life in like one way.
Groundhog's Day.
Yeah, like wake up, do the thing, go to bed, repeat. And the more time that went on, the more I think like when we were younger, I could kind of go places and do things on my own. But
Yeah.
as we evolved, it was like, well, are we going to start a family? Like start to have these conversations. And I couldn't just go places anymore. I couldn't
Right.
satisfy that for myself.
Yeah.
And it became more and more clear that we weren't building a life together anymore. We were like side by side doing all the things.
But it was restricting you from doing things that you probably really wanted to do.
Yeah, and it was like, but more like this innate like feeling of stuckness. I felt
Yeah.
like if I stay with this guy, then I'm stuck in this life, and I
Kinda
can't
like
ever
Casey.
change it. Yeah.
But I give you so much credit.
So much
Oh my
credit.
God, thank
so
you.
many people would have just stayed because everyone
Yeah.
else at that point was getting married and whatever.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, and it was hard.
It's
We had
good, and you deserve to be
friends,
happy.
Like, we had a house together. We had friends all together. It was very hard to untangle life, and I was so scared, like about being alone, about being without him. He was all I kind of remembered from my adult life.
Yeah,
You know,
he was-
about never meeting someone again. All these things, and like I really had to like with my therapist with like intensive therapy. When I say
Love
intensive,
therapy.
like one-on-one intensive therapy twice a week for like a year, and also group therapy, group divorce therapy that my therapist hosts, she's like a godsend, where I had to really work through like
therapy.
my fears, those fears, and then understand that there was no right or wrong choice. I always
Right.
felt like staying was the right choice and leaving was the quote wrong
It
choice.
probably would have been the easier
choice, but there's no
but-
right or wrong. It's the choice you make and what happens
Right.
from
Right.
it.
What'd your
Right.
dad say?
My dad was like, look, I can't say a single bad thing about him, but
That probably made it so much fucking
Yeah.
harder.
yes, but wait, the second part of his thing was like, but I can tell that you are like, it's almost like a smaller version of yourself.
You
with
feel
him.
a little trapped.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
he
good.
was like, I feel like you could definitely do more, like,
Right.
you know, and meet someone like on more like your level. But he was like, at the same time, great guy, can't say a single bad thing. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
obviously, like, he's so wonderful. So it was very hard. I was very conflicted.
Yeah.
And I was just actually terrified. Because then there was what in a 12-year relationship, when do you decide to just like physically walk out the door? Like,
No.
that's a very hard, you can have conversations.
You go
can
from
go back
talking
and
to
forth.
someone every day for 12 years, being married to that, like, I
And then
can't even
suddenly
imagine.
cold turkey. No,
Yeah.
it was crazy. And then the logistics were very scary to me.
Yeah.
Like, financially, the property, like all this stuff. There was just like a lot of entanglement.
Yeah, you were legally bound in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So it was extremely tough, but I'm so glad I made the decision. 'Cause my
No,
life,
kudos to you.
I feel like when you make the brave choice, which this for me was the brave choice. I
Yeah.
could have stayed and been,
Right.
neutral.
You would have been fine.
I would have been fine. I would have been fine.
so
but you
fine,
deserve to
yeah.
be super happy.
Exactly. And I feel like since that, my life has opened up in a million ways, and I do really feel that joy. And I feel like
Yeah.
I emanate, like it's emanating from me. People are always like, you really do seem happier,
Yeah.
you know?
Oh. She went away to Africa for a few months and came back, moved in with him. And I remember FaceTiming her saying like, and she was like, she always wanted to live abroad. So like the 3 months like wasn't enough for her.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I was
she
like,
had to get that out of her system.
yeah, I was like, and she thought that would.
did it, yeah.
And so I was like, you must be so excited. We moved in with blah, blah, blah. And she was like, can I be honest? I'm not.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy motherfucking shit. And they were dating for 8 years.
Wow.
And she broke up with him. I mean, granted, like they weren't married,
Yeah.
but like they were
No,
in an
but
apartment together.
they were on that path.
They were on that
Yeah.
path, and he was very similar. Like she's like very adventurous, wanted to live abroad, like she's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And he was very like, go to his finance job, come home from work, have takeout, go to bed, do the same thing.
That's literally,
Yeah.
that sounds very
I was
similar.
thinking about her the whole entire time you were
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah.
Like, and so
Yeah.
then now she
And
literally
I'm so
6
happy
months
for
later
her.
she moved to Israel and now she's
Love.
engaged. Yeah.
Love.
Yeah. No, I
Love.
could cry. I love her. I
Love.
miss her.
I'm not engaged yet,
Yes.
but
Wait, what's your boyfriend's name?
you don't
wanna
share it here. No,
okay.
I don't share it on
Oh,
social, but I'll
okay.
share it. His name's Tom.
Tom.
Okay.
Proposed. She's so fucking cute.
You're
We've-
lucky, Tom.
We've been together for almost a year and a half, and it's
Love.
like amazing. And
We
we're
love-
definitely on that path. We talk about it all the time. Like, we are definitely building our lives together.
Ugh,
Is he in finance?
No, he's an engineer.
Love.
But
Smart.
very smart. But he spent most of his 20s traveling. So he lived in Europe. He went to school. He did his master's in engineering in Germany for years.
Fucking cool.
He's like, he did a bike trip, like cycling across from Texas to Bolivia.
No.
Across a year.
Wow.
The most adventurous person you've ever met, super open location wise and just like day to day. Like, he's like, what do you want to do? Like, my career.
So
He's
where'd
like
you meet?
amazing.
How'd
Like,
you meet it?
on Hinge.
Oh,
Wow.
we
Yeah.
love a dating app connect. We'll get into that.
Yeah. So he's very much more aligned in my life. Like,
Yeah,
we're,
your lives
we're
are more
very
yeah.
aligned. Yeah.
That's so nice.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you dump the husband.
Yes.
You're single.
Yes.
When did you start putting yourself out there, and how did you do that? Because you were really never single as like a quote unquote adult.
Yes.
So what was that
I
like?
put myself out there immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
after a few weeks of
okay.
grieving. Because I had been in the in-between for so long, like
Yeah.
making the choice for a year, I feel like once I walked out the door and had that first like month or two of hardcore grieving,
Mm-hmm.
I then very quickly became ready to see what else was out there. So I got
Right, because
on
you were
the-
ready for like a year.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I was just like excited to see like what's next? Well, who's out there? Like, what are the possibilities?
Yeah.
So I got on the apps, dated in Toronto a little bit, which was fine. But then almost a few weeks later, I moved to Miami for the winter.
Oh,
And
what
I-
year
you
was
guys are
this?
so my God,
Same.
2023?
Oh,
You
I
were
moved
gone.
to Miami
2022,
2020.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I was doing your workouts like
From
on the boardwalk
there?
in Miami.
Oh my God,
yeah.
love. Yeah. So I was like, fuck it. And
Yeah.
I was so in this phase of I'm dating to have fun. I'm not dating for anything serious. So
Yeah.
I can swear, right? Like,
You
Yeah.
could
Do
do
whatever
fuck
you
shit,
want.
bitch,
so
whatever you want.
I really fucked it up. Like, I was on 4 dates a week. I was double
Good for
headers.
you.
I would do drinks, dinner, then somebody, and I was just like dating all these Miami guys, getting treated, having like the time of my life.
And Miami guys are like
No,
a
there's
different
yes,
breed.
Agreed.
I literally not last year, like when was I in Miami with 2 of my girlfriends? I think it was like last winter. So like before I met my boyfriend, I was like, I matched with this guy and I was like sitting at Soho House and he was like, oh, I'm going to come. This guy was like the biggest douche ever. Like
That's so Miami.
I got to talk to my friends Remy and Lo about it because they were there and they ended up meeting him because we were all together at the beach.
Yeah.
He came with like his little Pomeranian dog, like literally like this. And he was just so douchey. And I was like, I never wanted to date at Miami.
Yeah, it was very appropriate for the state I was in.
He's like, oh yeah, we're going to Nobu tonight and then
classic.
we're going to Catch and then we're going to Poppy Steak. And I was like, you need to shut the fuck up and walk away from me.
So that, when you're having fun, perfect. After that,
my friends and I got a good laugh about it. Yeah. We were like,
you even went on a date when we were at the W.
I didn't. That guy was like,
my God.
Wait, you were at Soho House also.
Oh my God.
No, that was a different. The Soho House thing was someone else.
Date.
That guy, we were on vacation together, and he was just so weird. I ended up going on a date with him, and then met my mom for dinner.
Oh my
we
God.
actually saw him last time we were in Miami. And, like this guy introduced us. I was like, "Oh, do you know so and so?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Oh,
and
I wasn't even. Oh yeah.
He was like, "Oh, nice to see you," or "Nice to meet you," or whatever. And I was like, "We've fully been on a date.
Oh my God.
Don't say that to me."
Yeah.
But Miami guys, you were dating a lot.
Yes.
Beautiful thing.
Yes, it was really fun. And then I did meet someone there who I like kept in touch with.
Okay.
I came back to Toronto and just like got myself together. My ex and I like finalized our divorce. We like separated our stuff. Like I went back into the house that we had been living in. Like I bought him out of his kind of portion or whatever.
Yeah.
And I continued living there for a while. And I just was like getting myself together. And then dating a little bit in Toronto. And then this guy that I had stayed in touch with from Florida, he came up to Toronto to visit me. It went south pretty quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, it went south pretty quickly. And that was my first experience of like really like people not having great intentions in date. Like, you know, like I think I was just very naive in dating and I thought
I
that
never really had a date.
I never knew.
You met your
and so I really like
husband.
trusted, you know, and he was quite literally like unstable, and we traveled to Europe together, and I've never felt so like low in my, like he was verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, like it was really bad. Ugh. And it all came to a head.
This is what dating is like.
I was
now?
like, oh my
Fuck.
God, yeah. And it all came to a head because I had left our Europe trip and went to meet my friend in Mykonos. And I didn't, I was
That's a way to get your mind off of things.
Yeah,
right?
I was out in Mykonos and I already knew this was bad news. He had treated me so terribly.
Yeah.
But I was like, let me enjoy the rest of my trip before I end it.
Yeah.
Talked to my therapist about it, had that plan. Yeah. I didn't text him good night before being out in Mykonos. The next day he, at the end of a night before going to bed, the next day he texted me for 10 hours straight, berating me, calling me every nasty name in the book.
Real toxic.
Oh, no, full toxic mode.
Yeah.
And I was like, at first I just was like, I'm sorry, like, because I wanted to just enjoy Mykonos.
We're twins.
Yeah.
We're fucking twins.
I have chills right now.
Oh my God.
Okay, you're
PTSD.
so fucking dramatic, Mom.
Yeah.
We'll get into it after.
Okay, but anyway, I was very like, I just was trying to like appease him so I could enjoy my time and deal with this fucking later.
We need to get lunch.
Yeah, we do. It was traumatizing, like really bad. Like, and I think I wasn't so sad about him. I was sad about how someone could treat me this way. Like, and I was like, what the literal
Like
fuck?
you're at the point where you know they're literally a flying piece of shit, but you're just like, why am I still dealing with this?
Yes, I'm like, I just
But
wanted,
you didn't get that sucked in though. At least you realized
it was a few months. Yes.
the first thing you were like done.
Early, and I'm very grateful for that. So the next day after this full thing in Mykonos, I woke up, texted him, like, we're done, blocked him. No one ever contacted me again. Period. We ended up having one phone call where I was like, I've never been treated so badly in my entire life. And he was like, really? And I was like, yes.
Like, why are you surprised?
He kept trying to contact me for weeks and weeks and weeks. What happened? And I didn't want to block him. I felt like blocking was like, I don't know, it was too aggressive. I don't know what I felt like. But I was like,
we're so similar.
Restraining orders.
Yeah, truly. And then I started dating again in Toronto. So this is important. So I went back on the apps in Toronto, and I was like,
I'm on the edge of my seat, honestly.
Okay. I was like, I'm going to do dating differently this time. I rebuilt my profile. My therapist looked at my profile and was like, my dating app profile, and was like, no, we need to change all this. It's not showing who you are. Yes, you look beautiful, but it's not giving any depth. We need to change all this. And I was like, I'm going to date intentionally this time. And I'm really going to like look for quality in men.
Yeah.
And Literally a week later, matched with my boyfriend, went on a date with him. The next morning, I woke up and I was like, that man is really important to me. I need to block the ex in case he ever texts me that I just don't want to deal with this energy anymore.
Yeah.
Finally, fully blocked, deleted on all the things, and was like, no, this guy that I met like is important. And that's my boyfriend now.
Great.
You're gonna freak
Yeah.
out when I say this. I had like a really bad situationship for like 2 years. Remember him? I don't want to say his name. Yeah, he was. Well,
Your mom's
first of all,
like, yeah, I
side
remember.
note, like I had like my
No, I
ex-boyfriend.
forgot.
My ex-boyfriend from like 6-7 years ago, like very similar situation, like would like just berate me over text and
Oh my
like
God.
even after the breakup, and it was like I didn't want to block him, but everyone's like block him. But I get that you can't like put it into words, but I
Yeah.
understand why you
I felt
didn't.
like they should know not to message you. Like, don't they respect boundaries? But the answer is they don't.
No,
respect
in the
boundaries.
same
Yeah.
like paragraph, it would be like, you fucking slut, I hate you so much.
Yes.
We're meant to be together. I
Yes,
love you.
yes, that's
and it's
exactly
like,
it.
This is the
Yeah.
math isn't mathing here.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember being in with like still dealing with this toxic man, thinking I did not leave my 12-year relationship
Yeah.
to a nice, kind,
Yeah, to deal with
generous,
this
Yeah, you
bullshit.
did a really good
fucking
precedent
person.
set.
I did not leave him to deal with this.
Yeah,
that
no.
would be insane.
Right.
Like I left him because I really felt like there was something bigger and better for me in my life and my love
Yeah,
and my
right.
relationships, whatever. Not for this.
Right.
And so I was like, no, we're done within just a few months. Yeah.
Right. Well, it's good
Yeah.
you kind of experience it next. You'll
Yeah.
never deal with that again. Like,
Well, it's have you ever
Bye.
heard of the book Your Three Loves? I can't remember the exact name.
Oh my God, yes.
So
I didn't read. I know it was a book, but I saw like
Yeah.
a bunch of like posts about
post
it.
about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like your first love is like your gentle, sweet love, like your high school sweetheart, your college sweetheart. It's sweet, but it's not forever.
Yeah.
So you leave
You'll
that.
always
then-
respect them.
You'll always
though.
respect
Yeah.
them. You love them. You send them love from afar. Your second love is your toxic love. And it's the love that teaches you the most lessons. It's like the one that you have to go through to learn about yourself, about your boundaries, about what
you
you're
don't
Right.
want.
So I was
learn
gonna say
everything
everything you don't want.
Yeah.
And then your third love is your for real forever love, which is
Oh.
where you put all those lessons into practice and you fully go all in. And it's the love
Right.
that you can't imagine you ever didn't have.
Love.
Kind of like what you're
Yeah.
going through.
Yeah.
No,
Your
I
life.
literally, as you were saying it, I know I'm
You're like,
thinking of
yes.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about you? Did you have a first, second, third? Well, you were engaged before.
I was engaged before.
Oh,
My dad, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Very long-
Dad. Don't get jealous.
Yeah.
What was
Long
the
time
situation
ago.
with that?
I was young. I was like 21.
Okay.
He was 22.
Older man.
He
Crazy girl.
lost his dad. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
Like he probably is still a good guy. He was
Yeah.
a good person. It was just a stressful experience. You know,
Yeah.
my mother was a pain in the neck with the wedding planning. Like we just had a lot of, I didn't really know how to handle it. I was so young. So I was kind of teaming up with my mother. My mother was being ridiculous. So it just kind of went its way.
Okay.
And then we
Well,
did
he
get
broke
back
up with you.
together. No, he broke up with me because
Yeah.
it was just like craziness.
Yeah.
And then we did get back together.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was super, super happy. And I was kind of dating, you know, a guy who was probably like, when he was fun. He was good looking, he was fun, but he was everything wrong
Is this
and
the guy
bad.
who lifted you up on the chair and on the beach and like brought him next to you?
No, that was the boyfriend before the guy I
She was a
engaged
fun
to.
girl.
It
found-
sounds like it.
Yeah.
And then the guy's dad, my ex-fiance's dad was murdered actually in his driveway.
No, like, isn't that fucking nuts?
Oh
So
my
I came
God.
back into his life then. And then he just couldn't deal with it. Between his mother
Oh my
mother was
gosh.
upset with me because I thought I broke his heart, even though he broke my heart. And he just had to be there for his family, and he was running his dad's business, which I think he still
Wow.
does. So it was really all timing.
Yeah.
And he actually didn't get married until like 40.
Wow. He had a lot of shit to
You were the
deal
one
with.
that got away.
And when did you meet your
When I was 25.
Okay.
When I was
Are
25.
you still married now?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
still married.
Okay.
And they met through her ex-boyfriend from college.
Wow.
So I always say, so my ex-fiance, I went out with his friend for a year. And
I didn't know that.
Jay.
My God, you're
And
like you're the slut. You're like the friend, the guy friend group is like, oh yeah, Janice. Yeah, she sleeps with all of us.
No, I didn't sleep with all of them. I had like long-term relationships.
Got it. Okay.
And then
More
my
respectful, I
college
guess.
boyfriend, was neighbors with my husband.
So they grew up together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
So
so that's how you met your husband.
That's how I met my husband.
Wow.
Yeah. And it
Crazy.
wasn't like sparks at first. He was just like my friend. He lived in
Yes.
the city. I was actually dating somebody else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does Dad know that? You were
yes.
dating someone else?
Yes. But it it was so much easier then.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't.
I think like now, if like you were to like date someone for a while and then date their friend, I feel like that'd be pretty fucked up.
Yeah, I
I
would
don't
agree
know.
with
I
that.
got away with it, but I also say a lot. But I also say a lot of things to people that I probably shouldn't. That I get away with. You know, I
Right,
just
'cause
have
it's
like
you, but
the
I
way
think like
do
I
it.
think I'm the same way. But if I was to like date one of my friend's exes, like I don't think that
I think
would
we'd
be
be
kosher.
yeah, you'd be blacklisted.
Yeah, or if my friend
No,
was
you
trying to
would
date
date-
my ex, I'd be like, just you don't want to do that. Like,
Yeah.
you can, but just don't.
No, but
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
dating my boyfriend's friends. It's not you. I wasn't. You know what I mean? Like it's like if
Yeah, but it's the same.
Oh, you weren't dating like a friend's
I
ex.
wasn't dating a friend's
Right,
ex.
I
You were
see.
dating, right? But wasn't like your
like Johnny and
ex-boyfriend?
Dave grew up together.
Right.
Jay
No, I understand.
and Andrew grew up together.
Right, but wasn't like Johnny like, why the fuck are you dating Janice? I've
no,
dated
because
her.
it like ran its course. We were like boyfriend girlfriend in
That's
college.
very respectful.
And then he moved to Florida. We stayed friends.
Yeah,
I
that's
still am
respectful.
friends with him now. He's
Yeah.
super funny, but
Yeah.
he wasn't meant to be my
Yeah.
husband.
No.
I think it's really important to know when someone is great but is not great for you.
Right, not your
Yeah.
person.
That is
Yeah.
a very hard thing for, I think, a lot of women to wrap their head around because there's such a scarcity mindset around dating where it's like, if I let go of this great person, then I'm not going to find someone better. But it's
Yeah.
like, you will, like you must,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
I'm curious your thoughts around
Yeah.
this question because like you had the toxic guy and then you met your boyfriend like very quickly, like the next match basically.
It was like a month or like a month and a half later.
So that's so quick. So like
Yeah.
what's your take on like when you stop looking, love finds you? Because you were looking in a way.
I was, but I wasn't desperately looking.
Yeah.
I think it's more about the energetics that you put
Right.
out. If you are like standing tall, confident, sure of yourself, knowing that you are a prize and you are a catch, and yeah, you're putting yourself out there on the apps or in real life, like hoping to meet someone, that is sending the signals of like, I'm here, I'm available, but like you come to me. Like,
Yes.
like I'm gonna let them, like I'm here, I'm great. They need to recognize that. That is very different than desperately looking for a man.
It's
Yeah.
your energy.
It's your energy.
I
And that's
totally
how I felt
agree.
it was. Cause I was like, I'm good. Like I'm good on my own. I feel I've been through a lot. I know that I'm worth
It's
worth
so
it, you know?
impressive you felt that way. Like
Yeah.
so I mean, obviously you're fucking fabulous, but like I
Yeah.
feel like people really grieve relationships for like a very, very long time.
but
before
she
putting
kind
each
of
other.
did because when she
That's
made
true,
up the
that's
mind
true,
to
that's
leave,
true,
she had
yes.
like a year head
That's true.
start.
I did. And I remember my therapist saying, this toxic guy, you're going to get over him a lot faster
Yeah.
than you think. Because you feel like you're going back to that previous divorce grieving, but
Right.
it's not. It's going to be like
Totally
short. A few
different.
weeks.
He
I
was like
promise you.
irrelevant, kind of.
Now, and at the time it felt like, but and it felt so big. Now I'm like very irrelevant. Like
Story
a blip,
of my life.
a blip, you
Yeah.
know?
Story
It's
of my life.
crazy. And so I really believe it's about like putting yourself at the center of your life, like being open to dating and men, but knowing
Yeah.
that like you are the most important thing. So it's like you don't cancel plans with friends for dates. You don't like, yeah, you don't like
You didn't
waste
cancel
time.
plans.
No, I'm saying I love her.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's important. A lot
It's
of
so
people are
important.
like, guys are like, are you free Friday? They have plans with their friends and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm free. And then they reschedule with friends. Like, no, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. This is your life.
Yeah.
And a man who really wants to be
They're-
with you, they're going to make it work.
Yeah.
Like, I remember after my second date with my now boyfriend, with Tom, our schedules didn't align. He had asked me to hang out the following weekend. I had plans with a girlfriend I wasn't going to cancel. And then I said, what about the other night on the weekend? He was like, I'm busy. So we didn't see each other for 2 weeks. And a lot of times things would fizzle
Yeah.
Yeah.
after 2 weeks. It wouldn't happen. He called me halfway through the 2 weeks and was like, I want to see how you're doing. I know. And he was like, I'm so excited for next Friday. I can't wait. How's your week going? What's going on? He like really made
I
an effort
really like that.
to stay in touch. And I was like, whoa, this is different. I think
Yeah.
if a man is into you,
They'll make it known.
They'll make it known and they'll work around your schedule.
Very
Yeah,
true.
I
You know?
totally agree. I totally agree.
When you left your marriage, though,
Yeah.
you were already on social media and
Yes.
sculpting and whatever.
Sculpting.
Sculpt and all kinds.
Not a fitness girl.
Yeah,
over
not
here.
a fitness girly. Like, what did your followers think? Were they like, were people like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Because you were already probably sharing back then.
Yes, I was. Like it wasn't just like we're not together anymore. It was like we had a beautiful relationship. We're no longer building a life together. We are going our separate ways. And
Yeah.
actually that video was the first video of mine that ever went went super viral because people were like, whoa, I've never seen people talk about this before.
Also,
Yeah, it's great.
I'm sure a lot of those viewers were like, holy shit, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
100%. And then there was all kinds of men that were like, you're a piece of shit. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? It was both.
Yeah, well,
But-
they can like just hide behind their screens and be losers.
Exactly. But a lot of women were like, oh my gosh, that's me.
Yeah.
And so that video, it was meant to be just like an announcement, like, and a sharing of what's happening in my life.
Yeah,
But it
good
actually was
FYI.
the beginning of my entire new trajectory of content where I was like,
And you didn't even know it. It's
I didn't
great.
even know it. Yeah. And it was like, whoa. And then I started making content about how wellness tools can help you heal through this kind of thing. So how did I get to a place of making a decision? How did I grieve? Through workouts, through therapy, through meditation, through mushroom ceremonies, through spending time with my
Mushroom
girlfriends.
ceremonies. Let's
Yeah.
get into that.
Yeah.
What does that look like?
I like macro dosed mushrooms in a ceremonial setting at this like wellness
think you
retreat
know people
many
who do
times.
I do that.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
like,
people-
you know, like you've heard of ayahuasca. It's like,
Yeah.
there's like,
I do mushrooms for fun. not
okay, so
for,
a lot
like-
of people do like party mush or like
Yeah.
for fun, partying, whatever. But this is like multiply that dosage by a lot, and you like go and put your eye mask on and like go into a meditative state, and like you go to another fucking planet.
I would be scared to like
Same.
dig
I'm
up a
way
lot
too
of
much of a pussy.
pain and
It was that. It was a lot of painful realizations, but also a lot of healing. It gives you what you need. So I went
we
in.
could
Were you
do
like
it.
a-
I know people who do it.
No, I know, but were you like a party? I don't know. I feel like you like
I
would
was
be-
a party girl. I'm like, is that what you mean?
Yeah, like then I was like retracting what I was saying because I was
Yeah.
like, you don't have to be a party girl to want to like immerse yourself into like a shroom wellness
This
experience.
was
but,
extreme.
like,
This was so wellness. But yes, I had like I still do party, but like
Yeah.
before in my 20s, like I would drink a lot, I would do mushrooms, I would do all these things for fun.
Right.
This is completely different.
right, which is why I was retracting my question. I was more just like curious, like were you always like exploratory with drugs?
No, I'm
Okay.
not. I don't do any. I
Yeah.
like don't do any drugs other than mushrooms.
Okay.
Like,
Did
I
you do
barely
it
smoke weed.
once, this psychedelic experience?
No,
or
I
just-
did it like 5 or 6 times.
What?
I kept going back. Yeah, because I
Where
found
is
it
this?
so
Like in
amazing.
Tulum?
No, it's actually a few hours outside of Toronto, like in like the countryside.
Are you alone?
You're in a room with like 12 to 15 people.
Okay.
We
And
could
it's
do it
like
in Jersey. I
I'm
know someone who
okay.
I
does
bet
it.
they have them.
I'm
Yeah.
too-
I know
I'm
someone who
I
do-
will
runs
say,
them.
like,
Big ol' pussy.
whenever I talk about mushroom ceremonies, like on podcasts or social, I'm always like, just be really like, this is my own experience.
Yeah.
One, I'm not a professional, and two, be really mindful of where you do it because you have to be in a safe space. Like you're
Yeah.
going to the depths of darkness. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So like you have to be in a safe space. So I went for a lot of healing and decision making with my ex. But what happened was I had a beautiful experience where I was with my mom in this
Aw.
mushroom ceremony, and we sat side by side, and it was a very real experience for me, even though
I
like
can't even like
it was
imagine.
like real in another galaxy. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
you
mean?
were
Yeah.
literally in a different dimension.
I was. And where we forgave each other for the things that weren't right in our relationship. And she helped me come to this realization of I'm going to be okay no matter which way I go. And my life is going to be completely fine. I'm going to be happy. It was almost
Yeah.
like what I thought I needed was healing of the relationship. What I
Yeah.
really needed was like the missing parental like safety
Yeah.
of someone telling me, like being there for me and knowing that, and me feeling like I'm going to be okay. No
That is
matter
so
what happens.
fucking cool.
And when that happened and I had that realization, because I haven't had that, like I've been really like on my own as an adult. Like
Yeah.
my dad's great, but he has a almost 5-year-old kid, new marriage. Like he's just like
It's
in a
different.
different.
You were- you were
I've
like
been
21
on my
when your mom
own
passed.
a lot. And I think like what I really needed was this experience of real safety.
Yeah.
And then I feel like my decision making and my grieving and healing from my ex really accelerated. And I think that's why now
That's
I feel
so
so
cool.
solid in myself. I'm like, I'm gonna be okay. Like I just
Yeah.
know that, you know?
So when you
I
come
can't even
off of
imagine.
your high from the mushrooms, like
Yeah.
are you like freaked out or you're like,
No,
whoa,
you're
that
you're
was
like,
great.
Whoa, you're like, that was
You
crazy.
feel at peace?
Someone guiding you.
You feel at peace. Yes, someone's guiding you. So you
So
go
many
and
questions.
you take it as a T, you go into your meditative state, and then there's the shaman, like the main guy who's like guiding, and then there's all these helpers. So you're like very well supported. But he's like playing meditations, he's playing music, instruments. Like
Are
there's
people
all this
screaming in the room and going
at
through
the
crazy
beginning,
shit?
it's very still and meditative. That's like the deep part. As
I
people
can't
start
breathe.
to
We
come
could do
out,
it.
I'm
I know,
not
it's
doing
crazy.
it. I'm too much of a bitch.
As people start to like come out of their deep part, there's dancing, there's screaming, there's hours, all kinds of weird shit.
Does that ruin like your trip if like someone else
you're
is like
so in your own world, you don't even know what's fucking happening.
Yeah.
You don't even know what planet you're on. You can't even. I thought
how long does it last for?
like 7 hours.
No.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But I would just be scared that
It would
I
like
would
stay.
Once what did I do? I just smoked. I mean, I did a lot of drugs, but I smoked weed and it had like THC in a long, long time ago.
Yeah.
And I got so freaky and so weird. And I thought I was dead, but I wasn't dead. And my friend was freaking out because she thought I was dead. And then I remember I was at my grandma's apartment in Florida stuff. I started vacuuming and cleaning like when I came back to it. But I didn't like that feeling because I thought I would never be normal again. Like
it's
that,
like a
I
loss
would do
of
it.
control.
Yeah, but I would
that's
like
why
it,
I
and
don't
I know
like it, 'cause
someone
I
who
don't like
does
being
it.
out of control.
Yeah.
Well, me
so,
too.
But that is one of the lessons that you learn by doing it.
To like give away control.
Is understanding how to let go.
Yeah.
People have such a hard time navigating big shifts in their lives because they want to hold on to control. They want to micromanage everything that's happening. Yeah. Once you learn to let go and let life happen, you flow through life so much easier. And the mushroom ceremonies are like a physical representation, like a learning of that, where I had panic attacks, the first 5 of them. Then the last one, finally, I didn't. It's because you learn how to breathe through it. You learn how to let it come, let it go. Let the feelings come, let them go.
We
And
need
it's
to
like
trip
practice.
balls together.
This is
Mom.
interesting. No, because I do have like I lost my brother who I truly,
Wow,
truly
I'm so
loved.
sorry.
I kind of have an icky mother. Like I have a lot of stuff in my head, and I am very planned. Like I'm not loosey goosey. I'm fun.
Yeah.
And I'm upbeat and I
You
have good
maybe
energy.
you maybe
but I could
could
probably.
benefit.
Mom, I would go with you and not take it and just watch you actually.
No, you have to take it. You can't be in the room without.
I love this
But you could do a
experience
little
for
bit.
you. But I know someone in college. Obviously, I know you're going and it's like medically like trained people are there to help you. But
you
there was
are
this guy in college who took shrooms and like he felt like he was tripping for days. And that freaks me out.
So you are very supported. Like
Yeah.
you are tripping out, but you are in a very safe,
But
supported
say it's a
environment
bad trip.
with
How do
nowhere to
they
be.
pivot you? Like
They're there calming you down. They're like stroking your back. They're like,
Yeah.
it's going to be breathe in
I
through
may
the nose,
wanna
out
do
through your
this.
mouth.
Oh my
I know
God.
where to do it.
You should. I know. I feel like I remember you telling me. No,
Yeah.
what I was saying obviously is like a kid abroad who was like taking God knows what drugs and yours is like a supervised experience.
Yes.
But like I still can't. I would like love the idea of me doing it and I respect people who do it, but I want it for you. You do. I'm
I
good.
think with everything you said that you've been through, you
Yeah.
definitely could benefit. It's not going to be easy. Like it's almost like 10 years of therapy, like in one night sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
it's
she
crazy.
went to therapy one time
Okay.
because of her mom, and then she never went back. And I was like, wait, like, why don't
What
you go
happened
back?
with that?
She goes, swear, one session. All she said was, your mom was did the best she could do, and she tied it up in a bow, and she never went back.
Yeah, she
She's
was
like, I
like,
love
your mom
therapy.
did the best she could do. She couldn't be the mother that you wanted
Yeah.
or deserved. And I was like, that makes sense.
Did it make you feel
I
better?
feel like I've been
That's
saying
like I
that
feel
for
better.
like my 28
Great.
years of life.
Yeah. What?
I feel like I've been saying that to you forever.
I know, but I had to
Sometimes you
hear
need
from
an
somebody
external
else.
party.
Totally. But yeah, I was like, Mom, there are like layers, like onion. You got to peel back in therapy.
I know, but sometimes I don't even want to go through all.
Yeah, but
It's
that's
hard
the,
work,
that's
and
the,
that's what I always say is like I feel like now I'm in such a better place. It's almost like I don't want to do it again because it is so hard. I'm like, why? Why bring myself down to this
Yeah.
really hard? But at the time I was going through so much, it was really important to me. But you have to be ready to do that because it is work. It's
Right.
not
Yeah.
like a walk in the park. Like now my boyfriend's like, because I brought him the last time I went.
oh my God. And you've been
He loved
five
it. Did he do
times.
it
He's
too?
nuts.
Yeah, he did it too. Yeah, he loved it. He had wanted to do that experience for a while, and then I started talking about it. He was like, "Oh my God, I've actually been so interested in that." So I had him come. They loved him there. As soon as he walked in, the people who run it were like, "You have such great energy. Like you're actually going to
And
be
he
such
was
a
like,
great
"Let's
addition
do
to the
this."
yeah." So he's like, "Let's go back," and I'm like, honestly, I don't know that I need to take myself back to that place right now. I feel
Yeah.
good, you know. I
Yeah.
don't feel like I really need that.
I
So you
believe
balance
it.
that.
I
Yeah.
like totally believe that shit works.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
It's scary. They say approach it with respect, not fear.
Yeah.
But with respect. It's not a walk in the park, but it's
Yeah.
going to be so good for you. It always gives you what you need in your life, not what you want. Like I went in hoping for answers and hoping for healing with my ex, but it was actually what I needed, which was this like connection moment with my
Right.
mom.
Love.
I woke up the next day. I have never felt peace like that in my life. I woke up and I was like, I just spent the whole night with my mom and I feel like head to toe calm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
I
So
can
like when I
literally-
drive, when I'm in my car, I listen to The Dead because my brother Phil was a Deadhead. So that's like my time. And
I
my
love
husband
that.
thinks it's bizarre. But like that's
No.
my time with my brother. And I think
Dead?
about him and I think
Stop
about
that.
old stories and,
And
you know.
that way you're not suppressing it, never thinking about
Yeah.
him. You're allowing yourself the
Right,
space
that's
to
like my
feel
moment.
it. Yeah. I love that.
Because people always say, why don't you make phone calls when I don't like
I'm
talking on the phone.
signing you up for this.
But you know what?
Just careful,
But you know
just
what
say-
I
I'm
would
like
be
always
scared
like, oh.
about?
Yeah.
There's so many kids.
But I've heard of other
Yeah,
people doing
yeah.
that and they loved
No,
it.
I know people who are
Host it,
trained
yeah.
to do this. I'm scared
know we
though
have to
now,
wrap it
even
like
though I
today.
used to like do a lot of drugs and stuff, but I was kind of young and stupid. And drugs were different then when it wasn't fentanyl and all this other crap. But I'm scared that it would aspirate something and make me crazy.
No,
you know
the
what I mean?
Yeah. But mushrooms are like plant medicine. So I hear you if you were doing like LSD.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that would be the case. But mushrooms it's like from the earth, you know?
Okay.
So it's a little bit.
good.
Yeah.
You're grounded.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want
Okay,
this to
I
end.
know, but we like need to.
We're going to have to do a part 2.
I know, or
I
like a
love
lot.
that.
Wait, I still have 30 questions.
We need to do our
We'll
finish
do
the
a part
sentence.
2. I come to New York a few times a year. We'll do a part 2.
Okay,
the
and
next
I'm
time.
like getting your phone number because I
Yeah.
love you. Okay, we like to end with doing some finish a sentence questions. So
Okay.
we'll do like 3 of them because
Okay.
like we're a little bit over right now, dare I
Okay.
say. Okay. The biggest red flag I ignored in a past relationship was.
Oh my God.
We could skip if you're like,
No,
I don't know.
I can think of one.
Okay.
The biggest red flag I ignored in a past relationship. One that really immediately comes to my mind is someone talking really shittily about their ex. Yeah, someone who's going on and on about how crazy and their
Yeah.
ex was.
Yeah,
that's a
noted.
red flag.
One thing I'll never compromise on in a relationship is.
My joy. Like if I'm
Yeah.
not joyful, like loving it, loving him, like now that I'm in this relationship with Tom and I really understand what that feels like, I would never compromise
love
that
Tom.
again.
Yeah, we need a
Love
visual of Tom.
Yeah,
I'll
we're-
show you a picture of him after.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
I
so
like how you're
cute.
very like mysterious with him.
I
on
like
social
only
media.
show like slivers of
Yeah,
his
no, I'm
face.
kind of into it. 'Cause
Yeah.
now I like need to see Tom.
Yeah.
Right.
Haha, guys, I get to see Tom and you don't. One daily habit that has improved my self-image and confidence is
100% working out.
love.
Yeah. Every day.
Sculpt, baby.
Sculpt, baby.
Yeah.
Every day or almost every day, a workout or at least a walk, something to get me moving. I swear I wake up like grumpy and then feel just like so great and ready. It happened this morning. I'm at my friend's apartment. It's chaotic. She was getting ready for work, vacuuming, whatever. And I was like,
Get me out of here.
I
Yeah.
worked out. I went for a quick walk. I did a 15-minute workout and I was like,
Well,
now
that's
I'm
you.
ready for a
That's me.
podcast
That's
interview.
me.
Yeah, she
Yes.
says it's a mood booster. Next time we'll wear exercise clothes and I'll try to do a little
Well, I
workout.
said
do
I was
it.
like when she said she wasn't feeling good, I'm like, go on a walk, you'll feel better. Like
Yeah.
literally endorphins.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't have endorphins.
Yes, you do.
Everyone
I
has
really
endorphins.
don't.
Yes.
After I take like a 10,000 step walk or whatever I do,
You're
or
tired?
do the Peloton, I'm hungry and then I'm tired.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you feel better after moving.
Usually.
Yeah, endorphins, baby. Last but not least, the thing that surprised me most about finding love was
How safe it feels. Like how soft and safe it feels. Like how much it allows me to relax into myself and to not be like I feel like I'm super type A and controlling in like my work and my life, but when I'm
until you're
are.
shrooming.
Yeah, until I'm streaming. But when I'm with like I can be like such a more relaxed, feminine, soft person. And it's like a side of myself that I never knew and that I'm so happy that I've been discovering.
That's
So
great.
I
You're
love
great.
you so much.
Thank
You're amazing. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I want you to like come back to New York every week. Where can people find you on social media, your
Yes.
handles, all that good fun stuff?
I'm at Alessia Sculpt on social, on Instagram,
Love.
TikTok, all the things. It's Alessia.
Yeah, not
Sculpt.
Alicia.
No.
How dare people
I
say
spell it
that?
out because like people always struggle. So my first name, Alessia, and then Sculpt, Sculpt.
Love.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. You guys are so fab.
No, you're
So great
better.
meeting
I
you.
love hanging out with like a mom and daughter duo. Like it makes me
But
feel
we
so.
all have good energy.
Yeah.
You know, no one here is like a blob.
No.
Agreed.
Yeah.
No blobs around.
No
No
blob,
blobs,
Wonder
no blobs
Bread.
allowed.
Like, subscribe, all of those good things, and tune in next week. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Yay.